What up, everybody? It's your boy Dier with Outspoken Unfiltered, and this is the first official episode of the Outspoken Unfiltered podcast. And for our first guest, we got CG Meezy. What up,
Yes,
Meez?
man. Thank you. I'm blessed to be here.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. We finally got you on the show. Finally got everything rolling. So, first question I'm gonna ask you is, tell the people who you are and where you from.
So I'm from Rockford, Illinois. It's about an hour and 30 minutes from Chicago. You know, a lot of people want to say down here, "Oh, you from Chicago?" Nah, I'm from Rockford. So I still try to push my city. I'm just a down to earth, you know what I'm saying, independent artist. You know, I just love music, and hopefully that when people hear the album, they can feel that.
Hell yeah. So, you from the Midwest. I'm from the Midwest myself. It's funny you mentioned like how people got to say you from the Rock. Like that's how we are about people in Gary. Like if you from Gary, you from Gary. If you from the Nap, then you from the Nap. It ain't like it's a distinction. You feel me? So I think my first question I'm gonna ask you, well, not my first question, but music related, is how did you even get into music in the first place?
Man, when I first started rapping, it was just off of basically just everybody being around the house or you listening to instrumentals as a child. And you know, my mother, she always had us listening to Lauryn Hill and listening to just different melodic sounds. So I think I kind of got my melodies from the Earth, Wind and Fires, the Lauryn Hill, New Edition, you know. Then but I was never like really a good rapper. But I didn't become a good rapper till in high school when I used to go to my friend's house and we'll be rapping till like 5 a.m. Just not going to sleep, just rapping. I make a song, the school likes it,
Right.
you know.
Just
And
rapping for people in the outside in the park and shit.
outside
like
in the park or where everybody just huddled up before school, trying to see who could rap.
that. Hell yeah.
You know, also legendary 8 Mile.
Oh, hell.
So
That's how
yeah,
we
that's how I started, and then from that, people started to like that first song, and that made me feel like I could actually rap, even though I still wasn't that good.
Exactly. That's how it is when you first get into rapping. Cause shit, I remember when I first was rapping, like you think that's some hot shit back then, but
Man.
you look back on it, you be like, that shit ass.
Yo,
Like,
pace not right.
right, you don't know how to really get in the flow, pockets and all that stuff. But that's the beauty of rapping. It's like that 10,000 hours is real. You repeatedly
Doing something.
exactly
Yeah,
you stretch
repetition.
exactly that muscle memory. So with that being the case, you mentioned you rapped it a lot for the people in the school and stuff like that. So you, when it came to you writing or whatever, did you ever approach it from like a poetic sense? Because you know some rappers start off dang, I can't talk. Some rappers start off writing poetry.
Right.
Like me
Yeah.
personally, when I first started making music and stuff like that, I had like a poetic approach to it. So you just immediately off the gate was just rapping.
Right. So I had never really did no poetry, but it was more so we freestyle, we have fun, we don't record, you know? So when I recorded that song, it was
Right.
like, everybody heard that, they're like, who is this?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? The funniest thing of it, it wasn't my part that they liked.
Right.
It was my homie part.
Okay.
But I didn't realize that until later on. I'm like, oh, they like the chorus.
Gotcha.
And that taught me something too. If you got a good chorus,
Yeah, that's all
then
you
they
need.
really ain't trying to hear the whole song. That's just the icing on the cake.
Exactly.
So what I started doing is I'm like, all right, I'm gonna have a great chorus and my verse need to be an addition. You know, so you can be like, oh, this is a complete song.
So then, like, what was the first moment where somebody heard your song and you was like, yeah, I should keep doing this rapping shit?
It was about, I think I had dropped like it was a SoundCloud era for me, you know.
Yeah.
Where I'm just
I miss the era of
pumping on
SoundCloud,
SoundCloud, man. Like, and if I would have knew that it's SoundCloud era season, I would have just been dumping.
Yeah.
Like I'm buying stocks or something.
Yeah, I definitely
I
took.
would have just been dumping songs into the algorithm.
I took that era for granted. like that was really when people actually would click your link, listen to SoundCloud. Nowadays, I'm not saying SoundCloud ain't got no use, but like
SoundCloud was such a beautiful era because people didn't care who you were. You know, if you had a good song, they was gonna listen to it.
right,
Like I remember I would find artists that I've never known before. You know, it's a guy named Mike West. I think I found off SoundCloud.
Yeah.
You know, it's a lot of different artists that I was finding just off of SoundCloud algorithm.
shit, not even just artists but producers too.
Oh yeah,
Like I feel like low key people say YouTube beats,
yeah.
SoundCloud beats, man.
Facts.
SoundCloud beats be crazy. I made a track off of a SoundCloud beat. I mean, obviously I ain't use it, but shit, you draw so much inspiration from different instrumentals and just sounds and stuff like that. So, like prime example, your album,
Right.
Sifu's Art. Your album, Sifu's Art, have a lot of soulful, really melodic type of beats. So, could you explain? First off, before we even get into that, like, could you explain what Sifu's Art is?
Okay, so before I do that, I wanna finish your last question.
Okay.
That song was called Rodeo. It just popped in my head.
Yeah.
It's the song that I posted on SoundCloud that gave me.
That's
the
what I was
love.
gonna ask you. What was the song
Yeah,
called?
it's called Rodeo. So I feel like the city kind of gave me my respect. You know, I feel like every rapper, they want their city respect, even though you might not need it. You know,
Yeah.
your city might not show you love, and you can blow up and be one of the biggest.
Yeah.
But that song that the city gave me my respect for was Rodeo. You know,
Right.
they heard that, like, all right, this is a solid song. So to go into Sifu's Art, a lot of people don't know what a Sifu is. You know what I'm
Gotcha.
saying? And it's
know I
basically
don't.
like it's like somebody who's mastered something. You know. So for me, I wanted to say, like, I've been working on this song or working on this album for so long. I feel like I've mastered this craft.
Yeah.
But I wrote it as a movie script, you know. I wrote it from top to bottom as a movie script, you know. And in the beginning, I have the professor talking, you know, because I wanted people to feel like they can close their eyes and see this
Yeah.
based off what they hear.
Right.
You know. So I had the professor talking in the beginning, and then at the end, I scroll the credits. Like the movie has just now ended.
Right.
You know.
So you basically sequenced the album like you was dreaming in a sense.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's why in the intro, who is that? Who is the person that's doing the poem in the beginning actually?
So that's my guy, King Musa. He was serving 20-year sentence, and Vic Mensa helped him get out of prison.
That's crazy.
Yeah, Vic Mensa. He called Vic Mensa. Then once he got out, Vic Mensa took him on Funk Flex and let him rap.
That's fire.
You know what I'm saying?
So what's his name again?
His name is King Musa.
King Musa.
Yeah, so
fire.
he ended up coming through the studio. I brought the studio out for like 4 or 5 hours, and we just worked, and I was just able to hear him write, and he wrote this iteration for me. You know, when I made it, I was kind of thinking of when 21 Savage had Morgan Freeman narrating it. You know,
Yeah, that'd have been dope having him. That'd have been dope having him throughout because he got like a real distinct voice. That's why I really like the intro track. It like really grips you into the album for real.
Oh, facts. I think that it would have been tough to keep it going because I would have had to write a lot more script. You know what I'm saying?
Definitely. I could tell how that'd be like a lot because formulating the whole project, it's just like you got to make a beginning, middle, end.
Right.
So, like with that, how did you want to approach the whole album? Like, what was the main thing you wanted to
get across?
Yeah.
So the center point of the album is really rap, and that's why that song is at the center. You know, that's the body of the album.
Right.
That we create culture. Rap is the single most important part of our culture because, you know, it controls the minds. You know what I'm saying? It's something that does, not by itself, but together.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? It controls the minds. So I started the album with Jesus a Rapper. That was the first song of my words. You know what I'm saying? Because I wanted to say that's the beginning.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Then I go through the song beat by beat. If I choose each song, I go to be ready, you know. Cause I'm fast forwarding quickly from Jesus to saying, all right, now it's my time and I need to be ready.
Got
You
you.
know.
Could you explain more about? Because I ain't gonna lie, when I first saw the album track list and then that Jesus is a rapper that played, I'm like, that's like kind of a crazy statement. Cause so could you explain like how,
Yeah.
your approach to that song?
Man, I feel like when you listen to that song, you should like go directly to the lyrics so you can kind of like follow along. I'm using iteration and I'm using everything that they talked about Jesus in the Bible. You know, like his hair is like lamb's wool. You know what I'm saying? But I say when he brushed it, it could turn to waves.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So that's like, even though he looked like this, he also could have had this. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? So I'm kind of giving people the idea that the first rapper was
Jesus,
Jesus. You know what I'm
right?
saying? Because he used his words to change the minds of the people.
He
And that's
talked metaphorically and
parables.
exactly like
Yeah.
that. Yeah, that's
And that's
fire.
what we
That's
trying to do.
fire.
You know what I'm
That's
saying? As
fire.
rappers. So
That's fire. I never. When you break it down like that, I ain't gonna lie. Like that's actually fire. Okay, so that was one of the tracks that really caught my eye. Another track, "Be Ready."
be ready.
Could you go about that?
Man, I had been going to New York since I was like 7. And the first time I was in New York, my mom, she let me go with one of the guys that I had knew from our community, and he's from New York, so he has to take me and my brother out. I'm like 7, mind you.
Yeah.
We on the train station till like 6 a.m.
Yeah.
We finally get back. They losing their mind, wondering where we was. We ain't, really wasn't responding to them. We was under the train subway at. And it just showed me the big city, the bright lights, you know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? It just showed me everything that New York had to offer. So me coming back as a rapper, I was thinking like, I need to be ready for my moment, you know?
Right.
And I was watching the stuff like, you seen the stuff about J. Cole moving to New York,
Yep.
pushing his stuff, asking Ho to give him a CD.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? That was a spinoff on that. The fact that like it's before I meet Ho. You
Right.
know what I'm saying? This is like before I get my opportunity like Cole did to handle my CD. I
Exactly.
need to be ready.
You feel like that time gonna come soon?
I don't really know. I don't really know if it's gonna come that way, because everything's so digital.
Yeah.
Like you can check your DMs and see somebody DM you, and you
Right.
be like,
Right.
Rock Nation DM me.
Exactly. Exactly.
So you never know how it's gonna come out. But I do think, as far as me getting opportunities to rap in front of these people, yeah, I think that's gonna happen.
Yeah. So you mentioned the fact that we in a digital era.
Right.
With us being in the digital era, hip hop as a culture is very vast and it's so many different subgenres of hip hop now. So like, how do you currently feel about the state of hip hop and where it's at right now?
I feel like the term hip hop is dead is overused, because it's a lot of real artists out there, That's why I seen the smile that Killer Mike had when he's saying it's a sweep, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
He was letting people know like it's only dead because y'all allow it to be dead,
Right.
We
Right.
still rapping. It's rappers that still rapping, I was listening to West Side Gun song, Kitchen Lights, and I was thinking like people using alliteration in raps, It just we not always publicizing the alliterators,
Exactly. We pushing a certain genre
certain genre.
and people are in their mind, they feel like that's the only part of rap when it's really so vast. It's like these people that you seeking for, and you probably not even seeking for them. That's
Yeah.
another thing too. I feel like people are like, hip hop is dead. What happened to hip hop? They only pushing the negative stuff, but it's like all you really got to do is search for it. But people don't search for it no more.
Now they don't search for it.
Consumerism and not even just hip hop, but music period is so different now.
I know why too though. It's because it's not put in our face.
Right.
Everything is being put in our face, and we like pause. Everything is giving us this idea of that you don't have to work to find your music.
Right.
You know, and because you don't have to work to find your music, that's how we move.
Right.
We want our favorite rapper to be dropped in front of us on TikTok
Instant
and be like,
gratification.
oh, this is my favorite rapper now.
Right.
This song hard.
Exactly.
But as far as like, we want an outlet to be made, I guess,
Mm-hmm.
for us to find these rappers.
It's kind of like a tug and pull, because on one hand it's so vast, but on the other hand it's so easy to access music now. So, excuse me, for independent artists like us, all we got to do is really put it out, and then hope that somebody can see our stuff. But that's another thing too.
Yeah.
We got to approach it in the sense of like, we got to create content for people to even be mesmerized, or even what's the word, convinced to even add the song to their library.
Yep.
And it's
to
like,
capture them.
that's a struggle.
Yeah, you gotta work. You gotta put together an idea. Also make a good song.
Exactly.
Then once you do the song, you might need to send it to different content creators.
Exactly.
And you might need to spend your own money to get people to just see your song.
Exactly.
But you know, that's why I also look at, you know, sometimes rap can be a losing game.
Yeah.
Because you spending so much money to get the eyes of the people, and they still might think it's trash.
Exactly. I always tell people, rap, not even rap, but music is an expensive hobby. You spend all this money for cover arts, videos. If you want to get an interview, sometimes you got to pay to get an interview.
Pay to get an interview.
Pay to get on playlists.
Man.
Pay to do whatever. But people don't tell you about this stuff.
No.
You know what I'm saying? They only think it's just like, oh, well, they just put the music out and that's it. It's like, it's so much stuff that happened behind closed doors. That's if you really care about your craft.
And then you got people that try to tell you things like, well, you should learn how to record. You should do your own cover art. You should. But what they not telling you is, if time is money and you using 12 hours out the day, you still use your money.
Exactly. and that's also, with that being a barrier, I feel like that's the beautiful part about us being rappers that are in school. Cause like, we so close to different creatives that won't necessarily charge us for so much, but can literally execute certain ideas and stuff like that at a lower price, or even no price at all, that these other people are doing for buku amount of money. You know what I'm saying? So I definitely think that's that's the gift and the curse. So I mentioned art.
Right.
The cover. Why did you approach the cover the way that you did? I meant to ask you that.
Wow, that's crazy, because I've got nobody ask me about the cover. You know, the cover is like different illusions of the same person. You know, it's different phases and it's different illusions, because it's an artist drawing another artist that's drawing another artist.
Yeah.
But they all in different stages, you
Exactly.
know, of their art. They're all in different stages of their craft.
Right.
You know, and they all working on a different piece, but it all makes one piece, you know. And I just feel like when you're trying to master something, it's Sifu's art. So I'm the Sifu in this, you know, I'm the main character, you know. So I feel like when you're trying to master something, mastering when you 21 is different from when you mastering at 35.
Exactly.
You know, so rap for Nas, when he was my age, when he was 24 or 23 versus what he is now, that's two different Nas's, you know. So that's how I looked at it. Like, my Sifu's art 2 gonna be a lot different from Sifu's art 1, you know.
Right. So with you making that point about us being in different phases, like, if you could give a name for this phase in your career, your music career, like, how would you describe it? What would you title it?
I would probably title it Understanding, because I've come to an understanding of the type of music that I want to make.
Yeah.
You know, so I'll give it that.
I could definitely tell, because you had a specific sound with this whole project. That's why I think that's really why I really like it. It was like very consistent, like from Jesus is a rapper to Be Ready to really rap. Like, I can tell you really took your time with it. So like, with all these great tracks that's formulated in the album, like what was your favorite tracks on the album?
Man, favorite tracks is so funny because it's like it's my work.
Right. Right.
I think I like every track, but my favorite probably would be Sugar Free.
Yeah.
Because that's some, it's like irony in that, it's like the sweetness is like dessert,
Yeah.
but it's supposed to be called sugar free, but it's dessert because
Exactly.
it's at the very end, and you
Right.
gotta get to it by listening to the whole album to
Exactly.
find it. So that was like on some, I'm gonna put this for my fans.
It's like a hidden gem.
Yeah,
It's like
as
if
a
you really
treat.
waited.
I got a call about that.
Yeah.
Like, my man's like, the first time I listened to your album, I ain't hear Sugar Free. This song fire. Why you ain't tell me about this?
Yeah.
I'm like, man, you had to work, like you had to be a real listener of mine.
Exactly. That's how you can really tell somebody listen to your project, cause you be like I listen to everything. It's like you heard Sugar Free, but it ain't. That's not on the track list. It'd be like, what you mean? It's like you ain't really listened for
Nah,
real. So that's fine. So you mentioned irony, and I feel like the most ironic song on the project is really rap, cause like you got this happy sounding beat, but you talk about really the ugly side of the industry that we in. It's
Facts.
like rap is used as satire now. It's like you get an artist that got a following. He more than likely from the hood. You give him all this money, and he perpetuating this image that is really the reality of certain people's lives, but is detrimental to this community. So like, what was your thought process behind making Really Rap?
I think I used that introduction as my thought process. I started with sometimes they don't understand rap. Sometimes they don't understand us. I was talking about us as a culture, but that us meant us as rappers. They don't understand how powerful we are. So as I kept going through with that, I ended it, with talking about who do we create and the things that we've made, through rap. And I think like somebody who listens to that, they like, they see it for what we've done, because at first you probably subconsciously see these rappers and see what rap does and you don't get it.
Exactly.
But when you realize like, man, this rap is this powerful, then you start to be like, okay, I see why he made this song.
Exactly. Well, Meezy, it was nice chopping it up with you. I really appreciate you breaking down and formulating your thought process behind your album. If you haven't heard already, Sifu's art is out everywhere.
Sifu's art.
Spotify, Apple Music, Tidal, wherever you stream your music at, go check it out. That's CG Meezy. That's CG Meezy. And appreciate you, boss.
Thank you.
And that's Outspoken Unfiltered, everybody. Peace. All right.